When did your boss nearly end someone's life? I was cleaning up after my daycare snack time when I noticed 3-year-old Eloise scratching at her neck and wheezing in the corner by the blocks. I ran to the owner, Mrs. Henderson, to tell her Eloise was having an allergic reaction. Henderson barely looked and said Eloise was just being dramatic because her mother coddles her too much. She said if I kept overreacting to every child's tantrum, I wouldn't last long in childcare. 5 minutes later, Eloise was gasping like she was breathing through a straw, and her eyes were swollen shut. I begged Henderson to let me call Eloise's mom, or at least check her file for allergies. But Henderson stood up and got in my face. She said if I made one phone call or disturbed one parent over a child's attention-seeking behavior, she'd not only fire me, but make sure I never worked with children again by reporting me for causing unnecessary panic. That's when Eloise collapsed onto the reading mat and started making these tiny choking sounds that I'll never forget as long as I live. Her fingernails were turning blue, and she was clawing at her throat like she was trying to rip it open to get air. And the other kids started screaming because they knew something was seriously wrong. I ran to the medical cabinet where we kept the EpiPens, but Henderson blocked me with her body and said I was not authorized to give any medications without written parental consent on file. I shoved past her and grabbed the pediatric EpiPen while she screamed that she was calling the police to have me arrested for assault and practicing medicine without a license. Eloise's whole face was swollen like a balloon, and her lips were purple, and when I knelt beside her, she wasn't even crying anymore because she didn't have enough air to make sounds. Henderson was on the phone with her lawyer, screaming about liability and lawsuits while this tiny 3-year-old was dying on our classroom floor, and she kept saying,